Please forgive how I sound throughout this video as I am sick and not feeling well. I'm going to be running through FEXTY by Skyjax and Ozpectro, and I'm going to be going through a practice run of it and showing you like all the tricky parts and how to do them. But other than that, this is a pretty hard extreme demon. I would recommend it after you beat levels such as Cataclysm, Retention, or Falling Up, like I have. So this first cube part is just a bunch of buffered inputs. You can just tap everything pretty early here. It's not really that difficult. It'll want you to like jump on platforms underneath orbs a lot. So it requires you to hold down your jump button for extended periods of time. You should get consistent at this part fairly easily. I got consistent enough to for this level to the point where I got to around 50% pretty much every attempt. So when talking about FEXTY, it's important to talk about this part right here because there's a timing right here that is pretty difficult. So as you can buffer every input here, this one jump right here requires you to do somewhat of a double click. You have to click twice in quick succession. So if you don't hit it, you'll jump into that. But if you hit it too late, you'll eventually hit the platform that my cube is about to fall into right here. It's really important to know that so you can become more consistent with this first part. So this is just a fast-paced straight fly. It's not really that difficult, but I would just recommend practicing straight flying before beating this level. So, you know, Cataclysm would probably be a good practice for that. And after you do the straight fly and hit that yellow orb, it's going to want you to hold the wave because there's a blue portal under there that will guide you through it. So this ship part is a very bad choke point, I found. It just doesn't seem to be consistent with the rest of the level's difficulty. This ship part is just extremely tedious and very learny. As you can see on the top, there's a blue pad flipping the ship, flipping the top ship's gravity, which inadvertently switches the ship on the bottom's gravity. So what you want to do is control the ship on the bottom while it's randomly changing gravity. So what I recommend doing is I wouldn't really focus on the top ship that much. So if you see right there, the gravity change happens at that second arrow right here. So you're going to want to hold for at least half a second so that you can go into the area enough to get momentum. And then right here at this, at like the bottom right here of this arrow, you're going to want to hold just for a tiny little bit. This will allow you to successfully get through this straight fly without having to tap too many times on your jump key. And then you hit the yellow orb, and if you hit that yellow orb late, you can just hold and this part becomes infinitely easier. So let me try to get this consistently in slow mode. As you saw there, I held and then just hit that last orb basically in the middle, and then you'll pretty much get through it. Right here, it'll send you into a pretty tricky straight fly. I would just recommend practicing that transition so it can get consistent. This next part is just a pretty tight negative speed wave spam, not wave spam. It's just tight wave at negative speed. You can get really consistent at this if you just practice it. So this level's first half gets really consistent, but this is where the level gets super inconsistent. As you can see here, more just simple buffering basically. Not really because of the portals and the orbs, but you can hit them really early, so it doesn't really matter. So this part right here is the choke point of the level. I'm just gonna run through it in slow mode real quick. So as you can see, it's just tight wave. If you're ever gonna go for this level, practice this part first. It is so vital to know how to do this part because of how just insanely hard it is. You can't get consistent at it, at least in my opinion, unless you're like obviously a top player, but it's just incredibly hard. Okay, I finally did it. It immediately sends you into the swing copter part, and honestly, the transition for it is incredibly rude. Basically, it's asking you to click pretty late here, but not late enough so that you're off the platform. You want to click at the edge of this platform that I'm spawning on. It's pretty simple swing copter maneuver. If you know anything about the swing copter, you should get through this part fairly easy. Besides that transition right here. For this transition right here, make sure you do like a high swing like I just did there. This part is, it looks really intimidating at first, but I promise you it's not. You can buffer every single one of these inputs. There's one trick pad there, but you'll be fine with it. This part right here, you want to buffer both of these blue orbs if you're on 144 hertz. I'm not sure if it's different on 160, or not 160, if it's different on 60 hertz. I would still recommend just holding those orbs really early. So this is a blind jump right here. Right here, you can buffer an input as soon as you hit the tip of this slide right here. So as you can see, there's a blind jump. And then once more, you want to hit this yellow orb late. This is the first orb timing in the level. And then right here, you're going to do a really soft tap because there's nothing preventing you from just holding and dying like this. So you want to hit that very, very softly. And once more, you can buffer every single one of these inputs. And then right here, you get to a straight fly, which is pretty easy. It's because it's just a mini ship. And then you get to the ending right here. Yeah, and there we go. It's the end of FEXTY. So FEXTY was a pretty difficult level for me, mostly due to the choke points. But other than that, I had a really fun time with this level. It looks very nice as it is a 1.9 level. I would go on to say that it's one of the best 1.9 extreme demons to come out from that time. I have valid criticism of it though with its choke points. It's very unbalanced and it can at times be extremely frustrating to play. Still, it's a very enjoyable experience to play this level, and it actually teaches you a lot about certain mechanics of the game, such as like the dual ship and going through wave choke points. So yeah, it's a very good learning experience and I would definitely recommend it. But yeah, let's see the completion.
Let's fucking go, Max. I beat it. I beat it. Let's go. Let's go. Yes.
6 attempts. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm a legend. Oh, ignore that. What? I'm gonna rate that extreme demon because it was an extreme demon. FEXTY. More like
ass.
FESTY.